Twins outsmart mom by the channel Unseen.
This footage hides a disturbing secret. The couple cheering in the stands is Celeste and Stephen Beard. They are attending the high school graduation of their twin daughters, Jennifer and
I feel like
Christina.
I've heard of them.
Now,
I never heard
look
of them.
closely at the woman sitting alone in front of them. Her name is Tracy Tarleton. From the outside, she looks supportive of the twins, clapping as they walk across the stage. But what the girls don't know is that just a few months before this footage was taken, Tracy was released from a psychiatric facility and has been meeting with their mother in secret, plotting a violent crime that will force the two teenagers to run for their lives.
Why?
What's something wrong for the
She's
take
very
out?
scary. There wasn't enough locks on the door for the two of us to feel safe.
We were scared to death. We thought she'd kill the girls.
You better get your tonight. You understand that? Because if you don't, you will be sorry.
These girls will probably be
It's
like 17,
1993.
18 right now.
13-year-old
Well, at the
Christina
time.
lives with her mom, Celeste, and her stepdad, Stephen, in Austin, Texas. While Jennifer, Christina's identical twin sister, lives with their biological father,
so they
Craig,
live
in
together.
Washington State. The twins' parents went through a lengthy custody battle after their divorce, which ended in the twins being separated between both
Dang.
parents, living
Oh,
hundreds
so
of
one parent
miles
had
away
one
from
parent.
each
Yeah.
other
That
was
was sucking
difficult for
the
the
twins.
girls
That kinda
because they were
stinks,
each
yeah.
other's best friends.
I missed her a lot. I missed Jen a whole lot. We were built-in friends with each other.
I would not know how to be a regular sibling. You know, it's always been nice to have someone that knows exactly what I'm going through.
You never really think
It
about
was
that, like,
definitely-
as a twin being separated, like, you feel like your identity is both
Part of
within
your
each other.
Yeah, I
You know?
agree.
So, like, being, like, on your own, it probably feels so weird to you.
Right.
Like,
And you're just so used to being together all the time.
yeah. I mean, I guess until, like, adulthood. And then you kind of, like, go
Well,
your
you have
separate
to
ways.
naturally start separating, but
Yeah,
as a
but you
kid,
still-
that could be
yeah, still have
traumatic
that
for
connection.
sure.
Really, hard not to have my other half.
It's July 1996. After 3 years of living apart, the twins have finally planned a summer trip together, reuniting at their grandparents' house in California. They're really excited because it's the first time they have seen each other in over 2 years.
What? That
Jeez.
long?
Sister and I never skipped a beat.
Laughing so hard that we were crying. And I just couldn't believe that we were actually back together again.
However, things take a turn for the worse when Jennifer tries to call their father, Craig, to let him know they've arrived safely. But no one is picking up the phone.
Oh,
They
no.
keep trying
The mama
to
took
call,
'em out.
but still,
Right?
no answer.
She won't cuss
After
you
2
both
days
kids.
of not talking,
That makes
the
you
twins
think.
received the news that their father has been found dead in his home,
I
leaving
knew
behind
it.
a handwritten letter. He had been quietly struggling for years, leaving his
Oh.
daughters asking
sound like
themselves
say he-
why he
you
would
know.
do this.
I felt like I
That
died
wasn't
that
what I
day.
expected.
The twins are in a state of shock. What was supposed to be only a 2-week reunion turned into Jennifer suddenly moving in with Christina, Celeste, and their new stepdad, Stephen Beard, in
my
Austin,
God.
Texas. At first, she had a hard time adjusting to the change, but when she met Steve Beard, her new stepdad, he was surprisingly very welcoming and loving, showing a lot of attention to his new stepdaughter.
When I first met Steve, it was just so sweet, which was a relief, you know, because he was technically
I hope Stevie
my
had nothing to do with it, man.
stepdad.
I hope so too.
On Sundays,
that
it
he
was
really was genuine.
because Steve and I would always go
know.
to breakfast together. I was very grateful to have his relationship.
After years of living
she
together,
probably
the
needed
new
it at
blended
that point.
family,
Yeah.
from the outside, appears to be living a happy life. The sisters have just started their senior year of high school, and they for once have a stable father figure. Stephen even formally adopted the twins, giving them each a special family ring.
He had always wore his.
He just gave it to us after he adopted us, and we thought it was the coolest thing.
I mean, I was definitely moved that he had this special ring made, and I mean, just the adoption alone, you know.
Well, she still
I
must
felt
care about him
very
because she still got the ring
connected
on
to
to
him.
this day.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
So
think
he really must have
he
been a
was.
great father
Yeah,
figure.
that's what I'm
1999,
thinking too.
At 2:30 a.m., Jennifer is staying with her boyfriend, while back at Stephen's house, Christina is asleep like any other night, when all of a sudden, Christina's bedroom door swings open.
The lights turn on, and my mom is running through the door saying, "Someone's at the door." And I'm like, what is going on here? I jump out of bed because she's in a panic, and I'm on my way to that front door when I see
What?
these white flashing lights.
What?
Christina is in a state of shock, not knowing who is outside or what they want, so she
Why would
runs
you
to the
bring your
phone
daughter
and
to
calls
get to the door?
911 in a panic.
Yeah,
The
that's
girl
weird.
tells them
You
that
think
there is
it's
someone
your
behind
daughter
their
like
front
the
door,
safety.
and sirens are blaring outside. With lights flashing all around their home, the 911 operator tells Christina that the people outside are the police. Moments earlier, the dispatchers received this 911 call from someone else inside the house.
What is going on there?
I'm in bed.
How did
I'm in awful pain.
Okay, are you there by yourself?
My wife is somewhere in the house. I can't find her.
Christina rushes to the front door.
Oh my
to let
gosh,
the
yeah. I
police
was like,
inside.
can't you tell it's
Open
probably
the front door
police?
and
Yeah.
it's cops. And they're like, is your dad home? And I said, yeah, he's upstairs.
Christina hurries to her stepfather's bedroom with the police
He's
as her
gonna be
mother
gone.
frantically runs behind them.
The paramedics, they were already working on
This is
Steve by the
suspicious,
time
but-
I
Yeah, I don't want to
myself and
say that the
police
mom did
officer
it,
got into
but
the
she's
room.
suspect. She's sus, man.
Yeah, because now they're saying that the paramedics are already working on him too. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, something's weird about
Okay,
this.
first of all, if you know your husband is in pain or dying, why would you run in there to get your daughter or somebody banging on the door knowing that
Well,
you're seeing flashing lights?
It-
You're like,
by
go
the
open
911 call, it made it sound like the wife wasn't in the room when he called, so she maybe didn't know. But still, it's 2:30 in the morning. Like, I don't know, something's weird.
What's she up 2:30 in the morning?
I don't know.
This was
But
a
she's
man
going
who
for a pee
needed
break.
immediate medical attention, and they needed to act quickly if he was going to survive.
The paramedics try to stabilize Steve, but he's losing a lot of blood. While they scramble to transport him to the hospital as quickly as possible, one of the police officers makes a shocking discovery: a shotgun shell on the ground next to his bed.
So he
I'm
was
like,
shot?
What?
Yeah.
Are you telling me he was shot?
How
And
she
they
didn't hear
said,
it?
yes. And I just couldn't believe it.
She must be a
Christina
deep sleeper,
calls her
boy. A
sister
deep
and
sleeper.
tells her what's
After that.
happening
Oh my
as Steve is
gosh.
airlifted to the nearest hospital.
Just couldn't believe what he just said. I'm panicked. I'm definitely panicked.
Back at the Beard household, the crime scene is blocked off as investigators conduct their initial
Yeah, this is
walkthrough.
weird,
It
for
seems
sure.
like someone went through a side door, which was left unlocked, and went up to Steve's bedroom to fatally shoot him. But before they can start investigating their theory, they need to take DNA swabs of everything, including all family members who could have been in the house at the time of the crime: Christina, Jennifer, and their mom, Celeste.
So at that point, I'm shocked that first off, Steve had been shot, but I wouldn't have even thought who could have done it. I was wondering if it was burglar or random, but as soon as we walked out of the house, Celeste whispers to me, if the police ask you who might have done this, don't mention Tracy's name.
Why would Celeste say don't mention
Why-
Tracy's
It's
name?
funny how they call their mom by
I
her
was just
name.
thinking the same thing, and now they
6
call their
months
mom by
before
her
the night of the
name.
attack, Celeste met 45-year-old Tracy. She was the manager of a local bookstore in Austin and had recently become close friends with Celeste. She would often get invited by the twins' mom for dinner and birthday parties, and even attended their high school graduation.
They had this weird friendship.
I just remember thinking that this lady wants more from our mom.
Yeah,
It
is she,
sounds like I
platonic.
wondered too. Is
she
this
must be
like
bi
a,
or something?
That's what I'm wondering too. I was like, is this kind of like a love
Yeah,
triangle
and they have to
weird
plan.
thing
They probably have to plan to get
to
that
take
guy
out
out of
the
there.
husband? Yeah.
Probably so.
That's what it seems like. Anyways.
Yeah, but yeah, you notice that they call her their mom by her name.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they just started doing it.
I bet they're doing it because they like resent her for this. Or
Yeah.
something.
Relationship.
The twins are on their way to the hospital as they try to understand what's happening. They are confused because they were told by their mother not to mention Tracy, but that only raises suspicions in their mind.
I was thinking maybe she's protecting Tracy because she thought it was Tracy.
After getting to the hospital and talking to the detectives, they asked me, who do I believe shot my father? And I said, my mom doesn't want me to mention this, but I'm not supposed to say Tracy Tarleton.
Tracy Tarleton
Dang.
is investigated.
So
they automatically are
The
saying-
Beard
Yeah.
family makes
You
her the
sus
prime
now.
suspect, but something is off. Without any clear motive, detectives have suspicions that someone else is involved.
There was no reason for Tracy to do this completely on her own.
Police quickly
Right?
obtain a
Yeah.
search warrant for Tracy Tarleton's
Like, why would
house
she just-
based
yeah.
on compelling evidence. A 20-gauge shotgun shell and the very bullet that had wounded Stephen Beard. They then proceeded to Tracy Tarleton's home and knock on her front door.
Miss Tarleton was asked if she owned a shotgun.
Well, it would have been detective.
She said yes. I asked if I could
Oh
see
my
it.
gosh.
She thought for a few minutes and she said, okay, you can see it. She gave us a
Dang,
Franchi
she just
20
gave
gauge
it to him.
shotgun. Had her name inscribed.
Like she didn't even
on the
try to
weapon
like
itself.
hide
Law
it or
enforcement
anything.
take possession of the shotgun.
It has her
bringing it in for
name
further
etched on it,
analysis.
so-
Days go by, and everyone is left waiting for news from the investigators, until finally, the detectives have the results.
And that shotgun turns out to be the shotgun from which the bullet that injured Mr. Beard was fired from.
October 8th, 1999. 5 days after the
Why
shooting
would
of
you
Stephen
keep the murder
Beard,
weapon?
Tracy
I don't know.
Tarleton is arrested and charged with attempted murder. But investigators are not satisfied. Tracy is refusing to talk about why she did this, and they know there's more to this story than they have so far.
Right.
Detectives continue to ask questions
did it
because
for a
they
lover.
believe Tracy did not act
what-
alone.
I think we're
and there
right,
might
for
be
sure.
someone else responsible who currently walks free, but she remains completely silent.
She won't tell.
Meanwhile, Steven is in the hospital, and after a painful few months of fighting with the twins by his side, Steve passes away from his injuries related to the shooting.
We loved Steve. He never wanted us to worry about anything. He just wanted us to be loved and
But he was a good
enjoy
man.
our
It
lives.
does sound like he was a really good
Coming from
man.
Washington State, losing my father, he filled that role for me that
Right, now they've lost
that
two
I'll never
fathers.
forget.
technically.
Yep.
As the sisters try to cope with their father's death, they are only left with pain and more questions than ever. Why would someone want to hurt him? Their mother Celeste tries to be there for them and goes with the girls to prepare for the funeral and buy a casket for him, but the twins never expected what would happen next.
A lot of crying.
that their mom gets arrested?
We just lost a loved one.
They
And
probably
while
aren't
we were
expecting this
there,
at all, yeah.
She purchased 2 pink caskets for Jen and I. And she's like,
What?
I'm going to get these for you guys.
The confusing
That's
part
crazy.
to
Like,
me
what?
was Celeste
Whoa.
suggesting that 18-year-olds needed to pick out a casket, and in the back of my mind, I thought, well, am I going in this casket soon?
Local
That's
newspapers and television
creepy.
networks start publishing the story, and everyone starts to worry that the real
she
killer
take out an
might
insurance
still
policy
be
on them?
lurking
Like a-
free. But
I
without
don't
policy?
know,
concrete
but that's
evidence,
creepy.
The investigators are at a standstill. In the midst of it all, the twins notice their mom's behavior is becoming increasingly disturbing and
Yeah.
erratic.
We're all crying.
Who's saying
and
that?
Celeste
Yeah,
is
yeah,
just
I got 2
laughing.
caskets for you.
Right?
I'm
Like
just
these
preparing them.
crazy
I'm not
eyes.
saying nothing to happen right
Manic,
now.
very loud and emotional, but didn't really seem real.
But things reach a breaking point on February 16, 2000, when no one could imagine what was in store for 2 young twins.
She then said, hey, why don't we all kill ourselves?
What?
And all of a
Oh,
sudden, she
dang.
pulls out a knife.
So she's probably gonna be like,
She's
look,
doing it like
you
this,
2
and
do it first.
She goes to like kind of lunge.
She just stabs herself in the leg.
What?
Blood starts gushing everywhere.
Okay, that's a weird
I
one.
was
Yeah.
just like, what is happening?
I wasn't expecting
Twins
this
call
twist,
911
actually.
in a panic, begging for immediate medical attention for their mom. As the ambulance arrives, the paramedics rush to
I think
start
something wrong with the
working on
mom, but I
Celeste,
think she's
attempting
also
to stop
being
the
like,
bleeding from her
she's
leg.
trying to, like,
The girls
be
are
smart
in a
about
state
it.
of shock
How
as their
she's gonna,
mom is
like,
quickly brought into an ambulance and
take
driven
out
to
her
the
children.
closest
Yeah.
hospital. Over the
She
next
got some
weeks,
type of plan
while
up her
still in
sleeve.
the hospital, Celeste continuously calls both sisters, becoming more and more unhinged.
I feel like I just
disturbing.
wouldn't answer.
And
anymore.
she's yelling and screaming at me over the phone.
Would go from normal to screaming, back to normal.
That's when Christina has an idea that will later give investigators the evidence they need to finally uncover Steve Beard's real murderer.
That I thought,
undercover
hey, you know
question.
what? I'm gonna start recording her conversations because I want to play them back to her, and she'll then hear, like, from my perspective, what I'm hearing, and think, oh, that's awful. I can't believe I'd do that.
So
Dang.
does she have no like recollection the things she's been saying?
Just
Like
as
did she
Christina
I don't
forget that she
know.
actually did those?
recording,
That's a
Celeste
good
exposes
question.
a crucial piece of
Is she
evidence
just
that will
literally
change
lost her
the
mind,
investigation
Yeah.
or
forever.
is that's a good question? What?
Whoa.
She says, I hired somebody to kill Tracy. I froze.
Who was Tracy?
Made it
That was the
all
friend.
real
Oh, okay.
They got
Yeah,
arrested,
you're
I
right, yeah.
think.
all unsafe.
So she's trying to take out
Twins
Tracy as
are
well.
terrified,
It sounds like
realizing
it.
that the pink coffins she bought, the recurring bizarre
Were for
and violent
them.
outbursts, the suspicious death of their father, and now her murder plot for Tracy are all leading to one thing: they will be next on her
Like
list.
she's taking
Hearing
everybody
that
out in her
Yeah.
life.
sealed it for me. Like any sort of doubt that I ever had that Celeste was involved with our father's murder, I don't have anymore.
And things get worse from here on. Their mom has been released from the hospital, and now
Oh,
the
gosh.
twins are in more danger than ever. At that
Yeah.
moment, Jennifer and Christina's
Their mom is
last
clearly,
chance to survive is to
like,
go
lost
into hiding
it.
and make
Like,
she
sure
had a
the mom
break.
can't find them.
I cleared out my bank account for Christina and I to go on the run and not have any trace.
They probably
We
don't have
stayed
no
in
more family
motels.
members.
Everything
Yeah.
we did
No, I
with
bet they
cash.
don't.
Celeste was trying to find us every day, trying to find us. All I kept replaying in my head was we are in danger. It was definitely terrifying. Like,
It's unfortunate
we're
they didn't
not coming home
think
from
they
this.
could go to the cops.
As
at this
Celeste
point,
is on
you
the
know?
hunt for her daughters, the twins, armed with a taped conversation
They have all
of
the
their
proof they
mother's
need with
threats,
the
go to
videotape.
the
Right.
police
the
to
audio
obtain a
tape.
family
Right.
violence protective order, which is granted. However, their suspicions of their mother's involvement in their stepdad's death can only be confirmed by one person, Tracy Tarleton.
This whole entire time,
She don't want to snitch.
Tracy was keeping
No.
her silence, that she acted in this alone.
Tracy, who was in prison awaiting
I was
a
gonna
trial
say, she's
for
in
her
prison
role in
at this
Steve's
point.
murder,
Probably like,
kept
I did
silent
it out of
until
love.
March 2002 when
It's
she
probably-
reads that the twins
Who
received
knows
the
why.
You know, I won't be
violence
surprised.
protective order.
I won't be surprised if Celeste told Tracy that maybe her husband was beating on her.
Right, that is a
and
good point.
He was really, really abusive, and she needs like to get out of this relationship, but
Yeah.
she don't know how. And then Tracy came to her defense.
So it's like if
took
she's
him out.
for some reason trying to take everybody out in her life, then
Yeah.
she could have easily done that.
Yeah, she could have done it.
And
then-
now
then
she
set up
takes
a hit-
out Tracy,
Yeah.
so that she's covered, and then she takes out
Yeah.
her kids and then herself,
Yup,
probably.
yup. That's what it could be, man. Let's see. Let's
Interesting.
find out.
Mother in the newspaper. In that moment, she breaks her silence and decides to cooperate with investigators, revealing to detectives the truth behind her motive, what investigators have been waiting to hear since the night of the murder, that she did not kill Steve on her own, but in fact, it was Celeste's plan all along.
Yep.
Now, with Tracy's crucial statement and the twins' incriminating audio recordings, investigators finally have enough evidence to
Yeah,
arrest
we got
Celeste
way
for
more than enough
capital
evidence.
murder on March 28,
Dang.
2002. However, just because Celeste is arrested doesn't mean a jury will find her guilty.
Well, that's
I felt
true.
like if she doesn't go to jail, I was going to be living underground forever. And I wasn't going to feel safe until she was in jail. With her on the street, nobody's safe.
The twins begin to work with prosecutors, lawyers, and Tracy Tarleton, the woman who
must be
pulled the
fraternal
trigger
twins.
to
They look
take down their
identical.
mother
Yeah, I
and
think
ensure
they
she
probably are.
never gets out
They
of
look
prison.
pretty similar, but
February
not
3rd,
identical.
2003, the trial begins of Celeste Beard. In front of their own mother, the sisters need to take the stand.
I felt like I don't want to be in the same room with her. I was afraid, oh my gosh, how do I stay strong enough to
Imagine,
not...
like, testifying.
I can't imagine.
It's
Worst
hard.
thing I've ever
That
had
is
to do
insane
in
to
my
me.
life
Hard.
is see Celeste staring back at me when I had to sit on
Yeah,
the
that-
stand and
that's
testify to
just
everything that I knew
uncomfortable
she
to-
did.
Yeah.
I was
very high
conflicted
extent.
because she's my mom, but
Right?
I just
Like-
wanted to make sure that Steve got justice.
The twins describe that throughout all their lives, their mom has had severe mental health problems, causing
okay,
violent
so this isn't
outbursts
new.
and an overall
Yeah.
traumatizing childhood.
Growing up, her emotions were all over the place. There was a lot of yelling and screaming and nasty phone calls.
Dang.
That's
It
the reason why the
seemed
dad probably got
normal to
divorced.
us.
Probably.
Jennifer reveals that when Celeste married
And he tried to get full
69-year-old
custody, too.
retired TV
I think
executive
that's what it
and
said.
multimillionaire Steve Beard,
Oh, he
it
was
wasn't out
right.
of love, but it was to gain access.
I wonder
to
because
his
he looks so
large
much more older than
inheritance.
her.
Did he ever talk to you about her feelings about Steve Beard?
Well, she said that she married Steve for his money.
Did she tell
Gold
you
digger.
about what would
Yeah.
happen if Steve Beard died?
That she would get it all. She would say, why wouldn't he die already?
Did it appear that she was looking forward to that, or?
Yes.
Investigators uncover that after only 6 months of marriage, Celeste had spent over $500,000 of her husband's
Dang.
money, secretly
She
buying
bad
all
with money.
kinds of clothes, jewelry, and artwork. The twins even noticed that Celeste had put
Bad.
sleeping pills in Steve's food on multiple occasions,
What?
and once he fell asleep, she would sneak out of the house. In February 1999, 8 months before Stephen Beard's murder, Celeste also had a psychotic breakdown, taking a gun, pointing it at her own head, and
Oh my
threatening
gosh.
Christina's life. Because of that incident, she had to be forcibly checked into the St. David's Psychiatric Mental
It's
Hospital
unfortunate at
in
this
Austin,
point they didn't
Texas.
notice
And
an
while staying
issue
at
and
that
then, like, her
psychiatric
have
facility,
ongoing treatment.
That's when Celeste met Tracy Tarleton. Their mother quickly
Oh.
started to show her a lot of attention, spending time with her, and ultimately developing a close,
So that's how they
intimate
met.
relationship.
Yeah.
After building all that trust, Celeste's real plan can be put into action. She could now manipulate Tracy.
She expressed to me that she wanted this sexual relationship with me, which I also.
Celeste had been setting up Tracy,
Yeah,
saying
for
Steve
sure.
is abusive to
Yep.
me.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's horrible.
Yep.
And Tracy
I knew
believed
it.
that Celeste was really in trouble.
Yep.
Celeste Beard, I don't think ever loved,
coming to her
maybe
defense.
didn't even like Tracy Tarleton.
Yeah,
trying to
it was
protect her.
all
She was
Celeste
willing to engage
manipulation.
in a lesbian relationship in order to get what she wanted.
Jeez.
I just saw this woman that I love in a desperate situation, trying to find a way to survive.
Because-
that was so awful.
Celeste said,
Because what other reason why she wouldn't
I
snitch on
cannot
her
live
about it,
Right,
you know?
exactly.
This abusive
Protect her so much.
husband, but Steve wasn't abusive.
That's when, in front of the twins and the jury, Tracy describes Celeste's plan for the murder of her husband.
You know, she says, oh man, he's gonna die soon, but not soon enough. She had a plan, and she wanted me to shoot him with my shotgun. So we were to enter the grounds, where to park, and then we walked through how I would exit my car, where I would enter the house, how I would approach the bedroom. And I walked down to the end of the bed, and I saw him, and I pulled up, and
I was going to say, they didn't do a very good job in a sense, because
The courtroom
shotgun could
stays
have taken
quiet
him out
after the
quick.
shocking revelation. Celeste coldly watches Tracy on the stand, shaking
She
her
doesn't
head.
seem to have a lot of
even laughing
emotion.
occasionally.
Dang.
But her smile disappears when her own daughters walk up to the
psychopath.
front of the courtroom
Yeah,
and now
probably.
have their turn of revealing one of the most incriminating pieces of evidence they have, the audio recording of her murder plot against Tracy, as well as her constant threats to the girls.
I know Tracy was like, heard that tape, like, you mother effer.
It's difficult to think that any mother would talk to a child that way.
Right?
The trial went on for weeks, until on March 19th, 2003, after deliberating for 3 days, the jurors finally come back with their answer.
I don't know
This
how
will
you could
finally
not see her
determine
as
if
guilty.
Celeste
Like,
will
this
remain
seems
in
like there's a
prison
lot of
for the
evidence
murder
against
of her
her.
husband, or if she will walk free
They
to
still say
forever
not
haunt the
guilty of
twins
mental
for their
illness.
whole lives.
That is true.
Before we bring the jury out, if there is anyone in the courtroom who feels that they may have an emotional outburst, I would ask that you please leave the courtroom at this time. Ms. Johns, would you please stand?
Truly, we've been waiting for this for 3 years now. And so, yeah, it's very emotional, and you can't really know what 12 people that you've never met, what they're going to do.
Madam Foreperson, please read the entire
State versus Celeste Beard Johnson. Verdict of the jury. Verdict form 1, capital murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Celeste Beard Johnson, guilty of the offense of capital murder.
Should have slight reaction.
Well, I had a flood of emotions. You know, I wasn't expecting to get so worked up. She is our mom. And it's just like, she's going to jail.
It's gotta be so incredibly hard.
Finally, the
Both your
sisters get
parents
justice
died.
for their father's
Well,
murder, and to
mom is gone a
conclude the
long time
trial,
ago.
Christina bravely takes a stand once more, but this time to directly speak to her mother and put an end to the fear she has been living with for over 2 years.
Jeez.
What did I ever do to you except love you? And this is how you treated us, like trash. You say we turned on you, but you turned on us. You turned on the whole Beard family. He let you into his home, loved you, honored, obeyed you, and you violated him and murdered him. You are guilty. Shame on you.
Celeste Beard is sentenced to 2 consecutive 40-year prison terms,
yeah, she
and
done.
she won't have
Yeah,
the
she's
possibility of
definitely-
parole until she's 79 years old.
Ooh,
the
yeah,
twins
she
can
done.
finally
Even if you
breathe
get
a
out
sigh
at
of relief,
79,
as
you're
now
not gonna be
they
able to do
don't need
much.
to stay in hiding. They can live their lives
Yeah, that's
to
nice
the
that they
fullest.
can just be
Yeah.
free.
After court is
Definitely
adjourned,
need some
Tracy
therapy.
asks to meet with the twins and apologizes to them directly.
I
for
want
the
to do
pain
Taylor
I feel
just-
bad for
I want to
her.
get some time off.
I mean,
Get
that's
some
what
time
I
cut
need
off.
to
Yeah,
do.
probably
Testify.
because she also
With the person that
cooperated.
actually pulled the trigger, she said that she felt really guilty for killing our father and that she was really sorry. I remember that.
She thought she was agreeing to kill an evil man.
Right,
I
like,
feel really bad for her.
Yeah, I feel bad for her too.
Yeah, I feel bad for her
The
too.
fact
But
that
she
Like she should have seen through some of the holes. I feel
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
but
this
but
reported
she
some law
was
enforcement.
totally
Forgiveness helped them
manipulated.
begin their
Yeah.
long process of healing. Now, 20 years after the trial, their sisterly bond only became stronger.
I have Christina. Like, Christina's my strength. We don't live close to each other, but any chance we can get to go visit each other, we will.
The twins are now 42 years old. Jennifer has a good job, which she enjoys, and spends her time focusing on her mental health. Christina got married and is a loving mother of 2 children. She is proud to give her kids the life, attention, love, and nurturing she
Right,
never
that she
deserved
didn't
growing up.
get.
Being the mom that I wanted.
They get to do life like I wish I got to.
Celeste never expected that her downfall would come from her own daughters.
That is so
and even
crazy.
though it took years for Jennifer and Christina to heal from the wounds created by their mom, they show that their
course
love
it
for
would.
each other is stronger than their mother's hatred. Living their best lives, spending quality time together with their loving families is their best revenge. They're living proof that even after tragedy, there's a life worth living.
Yeah. A lot of therapy, man. A lot of therapy.
Right.